We go back now to the Tshwane City Council, where Mayor Cilliers Brink has just concluded his State of the City address. And he's standing by with our reporter Nqobile Madlala.
Yes, of course, Iman. So I want to bring in the Mayor now to speak to us about those issues that you've highlighted. I think, Mayor, there's just been a confusion first and foremost from everybody that's been here talking about the fact that you started earlier than what was anticipated. Could you highlight to us what happened there?
So the Speaker of Council calls the meeting, adjourns the meeting, so that's very unfortunate, but we do have a live feed of the speech, and I'm very happy to talk to you about what was said.
And let's talk about electricity. I mean, one of the major issues that's been highlighted in this, in the city of Tshwane has been an electricity issue. You had an energy plan, and I think based on what you have told us is that it's not necessarily going according to plan in certain parts of it. Can you perhaps explain to us why?
We're making significant progress on energy independence. The Municipal Council has already endorsed our plan to make Rooiwal and Pretoria West power stations available to the private sector. We're in the process of putting together a request for proposals. In other words, we'll ask the market, what can you do with what the city has on offer? The goal is to become as independent of Eskom supply as possible, because we know that load shedding is here to stay. The fact that we have a reprieve now doesn't mean it's going to last. We must plan for energy independence. The second aspect of that is we put out a request for information. We've got 39 bids on IPP energy purchasing. That is being evaluated presently, so we're making excellent progress. Where things are not as they should be is in the city's internal electricity system. Theft and vandalism of infrastructure remains a tremendous problem, and that's why we've got to change the way that we safeguard our assets. We've got to move away from large security companies that charge us a lot of money but don't in fact do their work. The other aspect of energy is we've got to do far more rigorous proactive maintenance on substations and on electricity lines. We have to fix the so-called abnormals before electricity goes out, and that we'll do incrementally as we improve the city's financial position.
And I mean, previously you had a plan of 1,000 megawatts to be created or to be found on green energy as well. Has that succeeded?
So our plan is to procure 1,000 megawatts of electricity independent of Eskom by 2026. That remains the plan, and as I mentioned, we're making significant progress in rolling out that plan.
We have the situation in the waste part, which is quite a major one. It has affected a lot of communities in the Hammanskraal, especially when it comes to water. Are you succeeding in that partnership with now National to try and get water for these communities? And why has it taken so long?
So last year I said Rooiwal and the quality of Hammanskraal water is a stain on the conscience of the city. And what I said is that in the past year, contrition has turned to action. We're actually implementing the upgrading of Rooiwal. That's going to take longer, but because of the partnership with national government, they are building a package plant at Klipdrift, and so before the end of this year, we hope that people will have clean water in their taps. We don't just hope, we're tracking it, we're tracking the progress. I did a site visit with the minister. I am encouraged by the progress, and whatever delay has happened is because of due processes that need to be followed. It's not because of failures. So we are on track. We know that there's a massive breach of trust between the people of Hammanskraal and government in general. We know we're not going to fix that breach of trust overnight, but every day we're doing what we can in our power, going back to communities. We're also communicating with ward councillors. What are the next steps in making sure that once there's clean water in the taps, that people pay for those services and that we do a write-off of historical debts on those water accounts.
And I mean, as local governments, of course, we want to expect that you'll be able to recreate or to rather get money from rates and those that are taxpayers. And I understand at this point that you were running a campaign where you were looking at people that were not paying their rates. But before we get there, are you then, when we look at the upgrade of Rooiwal, do you have enough to be able to assist financially to build that part of Rooiwal?
So there's the upgrade of Rooiwal and there's the building of the package plant. National government is paying for the building of the package plant. The upgrade of Rooiwal is the longer term project. It'll be far more expensive than building the package plant. But the good news is that people don't have to wait for us to fix Rooiwal. Nonetheless, Rooiwal must be fixed. We are allocating, in a 3-year term, 450 million rand is as much as we can. But that is not enough. So as we continue with the project, we will have to source new forms of funding. We'll also have to consider a new model for cleaning water. We might have to involve the private sector, but this is a worldwide problem where infrastructure upgrades cannot be done with the available money. Let me just say on people paying their bills, the city of Tshwane has got one of the most generous packages of support to the poorest of the poor. National Treasury has said to us, your package is too high. We've said to National Treasury, it's not that our package is too high, it's that credit control has to happen once households exceed the basket of free basic services. So it's a simple principle. Those who use more than the basket of free basic services, 12 kiloliters of water, 100 kilowatt hours of electricity a month, they must pay. But we've also discovered that contrary to popular belief, it's not the poorest of the poor and those that can't afford to pay that owe the most. There are many wealthy areas in the city where people can pay other bills. They can pay DStv, they can pay luxury car installments, but they don't pay the municipality. And through Tshwane Yatima, our message is quite simple. 1, thank you for those who pay. Number 2, if you can't pay, make an arrangement. Number 3, if you refuse to make an arrangement, we will cut off electricity, and we're going to be far more rigorous in acting against illegal connections.
And how much have you made from cutting off from the people that have not paid?
So we haven't seen the kind of progress that we want to in collecting on our debtors book, but as Ratings Africa has found in the last financial year, the city of Tshwane, although our situation is still difficult, has made the best improvement on financial sustainability of all of the metros. The best improvement of financial sustainability of all the metros. So this is a longer term project to fix the city's tax administration capacity, but we're making the right decisions, even when those decisions were difficult, such as foregoing salary increases last year. We're making the right decisions, we're carrying them through, and we're slowly but surely seeing results.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Mayor. We do understand that you have to start your briefing. Of course, the Mayor is about to start briefing the media, and he is being asked to move to that side. But of course, we do understand that this becomes a very important speech for the city of Tshwane, mainly because it talks to the fact that what are their goals and what are their gains in those plans that they had. We know that they had an energy plan, which we understand at this very point. There's been en routes in terms of upgrading those issues that they've had and in ensuring that they cut those issues out. However, we understand that there are places where there are issues, where they are not able to work on them right now, but there are plans in ensuring that that does also work in the long term. But we also know that the speech started a little earlier, so there was a little bit of commotion here and there, which saw some of the people that were unhappy with the fact that they could not hear or see everything. We also know that there was also a bit of commotion that was talking about the IDP, which we understand at this point that that's always going to be open on the next council, and that's some of the things that are still going to be highlighted when they do get or come back to the coalition. They come back to the council. We know that the government is of a coalition, so everything needs to be decided upon, and there needs to be a collaboration in efforts and the work that's being done on the ground. But of course, we are going to attend that briefing and hear some reaction from ANC, which particularly can't wait to speak about how they feel about how the day has went.
Madlala, thank you very much. Just looking at the conclusion of the Mayor of Tshwane Cilliers Brink's State of the City address. There are more activities coming from the capital city, and we'll bring them to you throughout the course of the afternoon.